Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engineers. Is it just me or do you smell uranium? Whatever you do, don't worry about the stuff back there, it's not important. But yeah, today we're going to be experimenting with more explosives. Now we're going to be looking at warheads in a little bit more detail because you seem to really enjoy the last video and wanted me to test some other little bits that I didn't do in that video, so I'm here to test some of those things. And for those people who are absolutely terrified, don't worry about it. They're totally not armed warheads, so there's nothing to worry about. Like if I shot that, nothing would happen. Okay, maybe I lied. But I'm God, so I'm invincible. Also, that made about the same size crater as the actual large warhead did. Okay. So for the first experiment, you guys wanted me to test if a warhead could ricochet. Oh, not ricochet. If a warhead could cause a chain reaction. There you go, there's the words. So of course I tested it with the large and the small grid. So here you got the large grid, and on this side you got the small grid. And I even added some signs for these ones just to say how many blocks apart they are. So we're going to start with one. So both of these warheads are armed, right here. Are you kidding me? That was supposed to be armed. Alright, give me a second. Yes, totally nothing happened whatsoever. So we're first going to be testing if a warhead will cause a chain reaction, or if a warhead explodes near another warhead, would that also cause that other one to explode? And what is the result of a warhead exploding? So like, would it just like go ba ba ba, exploding all the blocks and causing the same size destructive potential? Also, how far away do you have to be before a warhead will not explode? It's kind of like the main test. Alright, so our black ones are our shooty blocks, and then the red ones are the ones that will detonate in turn. So we're going to start with this one. As you can see, if it's one block away, it explodes. And we'll have a look in depth after we go through all of that. I think that'll be easiest. Alright, so 2 blocks away. Explodes. 3 blocks away. Explodes. 4 blocks away. Explodes. 5 blocks away. Still explodes. 6 blocks away. Explodes. 7 blocks away. Explodes. 8 blocks away. Explodes. Okay. 9 blocks away. Still exploding. 10 blocks away. Explodes. 11 blocks away. Doesn't explode. Ah. So the sweet spot is 10 blocks in a small grid for a warhead to detonate as the furthest it can be away. And 11 blocks will cause the next one to not explode even if it is armed. Also, when we have a look here, you can see it does actually do damage. You can see this is the size of a small crater. You can see like it's 3 blocks across, I'd say. I went to just down here before this one explodes. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. It ends here actually, so 1, 2, 3. 3 in like a little bit. Looks a little bit. It's a tiny little bit bigger. So with that knowledge understood about it being 10 blocks away, let's see how large grid fate. How what would the word be? How would large grid react to the exact same test? Hey, now I sound scientific. Alright, so we're going to start with 1 block, so this time it's picking out, but same thing, 1 block away. Oh, big explosion. 2 blocks away. 3 blocks away. 4 blocks away. 5 blocks away. 6 blocks. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See? So it's the same for large and small grid in their proposed blocks. It is always 10 blocks away is the furthest. So when I say 10 blocks away, I mean 10 blocks distance. So I mean technically 12 blocks, right? So that's 1 block, and if I go to 11. So I'm meaning if a warhead's on this block, and the distance here between them is 10 blocks. But there you go. So, and large grid does actually give you a bit of a good understanding of, if you look, all these explosions are the exact same size. So for large grid, no matter how far apart you stack your warheads, they will not cause a bigger hole. And I can prove this to you here. So I can do a test with large grid. So I'm going to remove out there. There we go. And so when I actually, you know what, I'm gonna explode this one here, just so you see the explosion radius and it doesn't cross over with that. Okay, so if I get my, I'm gonna use a pistol. So I'm gonna go bonk. As you can see, this warhead exploded the one next to it, but it exploded the one next to it. It didn't cause one next to it to actually detonate. So it didn't cause a hole, it didn't do anything like that, and it didn't cause the next one to explode. And as you can see, this is technically outside the radius, so... I don't know, what do you think about that? Do you think Keen should have made it so you could make a line of warheads and have them all explode? A little bit like how Minecraft TNT explodes with a TNT? I don't know. I think it would have been a cool thing to see. Anyway, moving on to the next section. Alright, so the next thing people wanted me to test. Well, the main thing people wanted me to test was, they were saying that explosives, which you can find in like your items grid. So the things that the components that you actually make for things like warheads. If you shoot these, they actually detonate. Same, and I was going to say, and I'm also going to test all of these. But I was actually surprised with the results. So, of course, if you shoot this, lo and behold, my community actually don't lie to me, which is quite nice. So what explosives actually do explode if you shoot them? Same. Let's test ammo. Ammo detonates. The large cannon shells, or the salt cannon shells, those explode, and even the little tiny guns. They all explode and do the exact same amount of damage. Now, one thing I did want to test is I have this little, well, a little like starter car, scout car thing that I made, and if I get some explosives, so here you go. There you go. I get some explosives, alright? First thing I want to test is, are these explosives, will these also, oops. Will these also, trigger each other? So I'm going to place one there. I'm going to place one there. One there. One there. We're just going to make like a line of explosives. Yeah, like this. And if I shoot this, enters now. If I shoot this, those don't do. And they do a very, very small amount of damage. Quite pathetic. So, they do actually trigger each other. So if I, oh, hello. Bit dangerous using my gun. if I'm very careful and shoot just this one, they do all explode. And yeah, there's a small little bit of damage to the vehicles, which is pretty cool. It's also the same if you ignite, if you have a warhead in it and the little ammo is near it, it will also detonate. The amount of ammo doesn't make a difference in the slightest. So if, oh, the amount of explosives, should I say. So if I had an absolute ton of explosives and I really need to be more careful, and I had just one and shot it, makes a very, very big hole. So yes, you can make an absolute mega nuke. Oh, also, I think I might have just said it does make a difference. My bad. Yeah, it makes a big difference. It makes a very, very big difference. One thing I didn't test was what happens if I do that with like the other thing. So that's with explosives, and I knew it does that with explosives. What about if I do it with like magazines? So I do an absolute ton of magazines and I shot this. Yes, it does. So also just for scale, right? This is the size of a large warhead exploding. This is the size of 10,000 explosives exploding. Is it 10,000 or 100,000? I can't actually remember. 100,000, sorry. It's the size of 100,000 explosives. Yeah, bigger. Kaboomy. Another thing people wanted me to test, which this seems like a very, very bad idea, was I'm gonna go over here, right? So the bad idea. So if you get a large cargo box, right, and you fill it with explosives or explosive type things, right? This seems stupid. I haven't tested this. Can I just spam this, right, until I have 210,000 explosives? So way too many explosives. Now I can't remember if the box explodes or what, but what you guys were telling me was if you have things in here and they explode, they explode. And I don't know. I haven't tested this. I missed.
That's boring. You're boring, everybody. Quit boring everyone!
The entire box explodes. But doesn't do any damage. Oh, that's a shame. Alright, so for my next test, people were saying that the warheads could be dropped from a really high point, even with turrets near them, and apparently the turrets couldn't lock onto them. So I have here literally a small warhead with a block on the top. And they were saying that it won't actually explode, so we're gonna test this, right? So they were saying, yeah, you can make bombers with these because then you can drop them from really high heights, and yeah, you'll be all right. So we're gonna go up to a bit over 800 meters because that's the range of a turret. And then we're gonna drop it and follow it down. It's in range, being shot at. Oh! And it got hit. Meaning, you lied to me, people. You lied to me. So, not to worry. It actually got fairly far down. Actually thought you were telling the truth for a bit there. So the next test is what about dropping a few? Oh, that one hit, that one hit. That one hit, that one hit, that one hit. Interesting. So they'll shoot a couple, or they can hit a couple, but then the turret gives up. Because it stopped firing. Unless it was reloading, but... Interesting. So maybe that is possible. Also, my accuracy was on point. Well, more tests have been made on the warheads and explosives, and yeah, like I said, I didn't think explosives did this much damage when you have such a big stack. Don't get me wrong, having that size of stack is almost impossible in survival. The only way to get that big a stack is to stack into a box and then grind down the box to drop the actual drop them out. So you'd have to do this, right? You would get your explosives. You'd build them all, get them into the cargo container, and then you would literally just grind it right down the box. And there's your 10,000 explosives. That's how you do it in survival. Also, what if you drill? Grind? Grinding also works. Interesting. But yeah, these explosions are cool. Alright. And for my final little bit of fun, I made a thing. You want to see what the thing does? I'm gonna have to prep it. Give me a quick little bit of time, and yeah, we'll do some tests. Alright, I think that might be enough. Insert over the head, you mean right here?
So, you think they have enough? Well, they don't. For humans, enough is never enough!
Yeah, so throughout the time of me placing all these blocks, I went from not hearing my computer to hearing my computer quite loudly. And the FPS is certainly a little bit lower. I don't know. Okay, it's still 120, never mind. It's actually running surprisingly well, but I can feel it a little bit, and my computer is slightly screaming at me. But either way, this should be fun. And yes, I think this might be enough. So, are you ready to end today's video? Alright, so I'm gonna end today's video, but I'm gonna end today's video with a bang. So, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, always consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Oh, it's glorious. It's glorious.